welcome back to Strange Times, where we tell strange stories for these strange, strange times. My name is Christoph, and alongside me is
Brianna. Hey guys, what's up?
What's going on? How have you been?
I'm really good. I'm vegan now.
Yeah, it's been so long now you're vegan.
I do vegan things.
You're giving up for Lent, which is congratulations to you as being a Catholic. I am not, so I'm not giving up shit.
I no longer eat mermaids.
Can we talk about that? We're just going to jump right in because before we started recording,
I would never eat a mermaid.
You got on a tangent of apparently there's because
if y'all
you try to explain
take
it
that
to me,
and rewind it back and you listen to like our first episode, like not the first, but
the close
early
yeah.
episodes, we dive into the myths and legends of mermaids. And me believing they're real, him not believing they're not real, and debating about it. And we have a lot of fun in that episode. And flash forward, 5 years now?
Yeah.
I still believe. And now, like last night, we're like really obsessed with the show Severance. And so we're just hanging out, watching the show, chilling. And one of my girlfriends texts me and she's just like, "Did you hear the elite are eating mermaids?" And I was just like,
which is an amazing text.
The mermaids are back. The story. So now they're breaking the internet. They're breaking TikTok. It's
Ariel's back.
Everybody's talking about it because I feel like back whenever we saw on Animal Kingdom that documentary about the mermaids being real and like
and they admitted that they fake shit. Remember that?
The interesting thing about that, and I think I said it in my very first our very first podcast about mermaids. My thoughts do not change.
Mm-hmm.
I truly think that once the government saw all the hype that it was getting, and they were like, "Oh no, we can't have this on there." Because when it came on, it was like, "Oh, it's all fake and we made it up." The guy talking seemed really freaked the fuck out. The one that was like in charge, that was filming the whole thing, he had to go on and apologize. And I just thought, this is fucking weird. Like, this is all staged. But it's like, why? What was the whole fucking point?
I don't know what the point was, but I think they were trying to drum up ratings because Animal Planet, who's watching that shit. But the one that, like, at least the one they copped to, like the one in the submarine, that shit looked fake.
To you?
The submarine one, that one looked fake.
Like, I truly think the mermaids would look more not as Ariel, if you will.
No, they looked fucked up. If they
look like fuck ups.
A bunch of fuck ups, a bunch of burnouts. These mermaids.
I think that they wouldn't have our skin tone. I think they would look more
green, right? They'd be kind of
different, maybe looking. Different tones and definitely creatures. Maybe have some kind of humanoid resemblance, but and you were like going off on the crazy girl on TikTok, but I'm with her.
Which one?
Like I haven't booked the one. I haven't read the book of Enoch, but we know that there's like Greek mythology and the book of Enoch. There's a lot of different creatures, and even in the Bible, it talks about a lot of different species.
Mermaids?
Well, no, it talks about like species. Sorry. Well, the angels are, pardon my French, they're fucked up looking. They have 100 million
cherubs
eyes.
Cherubs have a bunch of feet, right? Or
cherubs have hoofs for feet. There's like something weird. Some of them, like in the Revelations, it talks about this horseman. I want to say the headless horseman, but he's got like 4 heads, and just like this is stuff that's why I think Revelations, we never finished reading it, because it's like you're kind of like,
Revelations fucked up. I tried to read Revelations first.
Shit. It's fucking dark, and so. So I think it's like sometimes for us, it's like too much to be like, that can't be real. But I do believe mermaids are real. Also, when you look at, and I talked about this in the last podcast, not trying to sell you guys to listen to it, but listen to that episode. The indigenous people, they say that like our ancestors that, were hunting for fish, they spent so much time in the water just trying to get fish. Our ancestors, supposedly over time, and there's depictions like on the side of like mountains and things like that, where the indigenous would tell their stories of their life, and there's pictures of
mermaids.
Eventually, like it's like half breeds, and so stories are like, oh, well, eventually they just kind of evolved into mermaids because they were always in the water. It reminded me so much of Avatar when we watched Avatar. There's like the mermaid like versions of them.
Yeah.
And I don't know, then you find some humans have web feet and web hands, like fingers. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Who fucking knows?
Evolution.
So far, like all the videos I've seen have been super AI. Like everyone looks like a fucking fake.
That's what I fucking hate.
And the hard thing too is like that lady specifically, and whatever. If you want to find, I want to find a mermaid because I think that would be fun. But the people who start citing the Bible, I don't believe
chew your brains off
in those books. So it's like once you start citing the Bible, you kind of lost me a bit. Like that's the hard thing. Hard thing for me personally is like I don't know. Do you think that? But for your sake, because you do believe in the Bible, do you think that mermaids were on the Noah's Ark?
No.
Oh, I'm surprised because you said they're creatures, right? That would be, and people cite the Bible, Enoch specifically, as a reference to prove that mermaids are real.
There was a lot of, I don't want to call them animals, but animals that didn't make the cut.
So that is wild. So in your theory, like there were like God did some experiments, right? Mm-hmm. And he created a bunch of creatures. And then when Noah's Ark, when the flood came about, he's like, well, I'm not taking these ones on because I kind of screwed up on these ones. So why wouldn't he take mermaids? Or were they not around at the time during the floods?
If we're talking
of the Bible, whenever that happened.
I mean, maybe they're too aggressive, but because they're more like humanoids, because they didn't take, what are the half deer, half human, what else called, or half horse?
Minotaurs?
Yeah, they didn't take them on there. But those are in the Book of Enoch. I mean, you see those in
I found out that there's Greek Minotaur mythology. Erotica, by the way. Anyways, go ahead. Oh, Lord. Yeah. Anyways, go ahead. There's erotica for everything. There's Shrek erotica. There's all kinds of erotica. I found out.
Right. But yeah, so.
Donkey. All new meaning. Go ahead.
I can't answer that, but I know in the Bible it says there's a lot of stuff that we're not meant to know.
So do you believe that...
It could be coming from another dimension.
Okay, but do you believe that there were creatures in... Because, the legend is Noah took 2 by 2, right? Every animal in twos, essentially, on the boat. Do you think that... So you believe that there are some creatures that God left behind, essentially, off the boat? Do you think there's creatures that were on the boat that were on the earth but were left behind because they were faulty or not worthy of ship?
If they didn't make the cut, they didn't make the cut. If there's no room, there's no room.
What if at one time, and this would debunk all the pirate legends and all that shit of mermaids, but what if mermaids were real, but then they weren't on Noah's Ark? So at one time, mermaids were real, but they were kind of forsaken at the time of flood.
You know what's crazy? Like,
what's crazy?
This goes
other than what we're talking about. Got it.
There's been these stories where people like go into these like caves, and there's like water like underground, and they'll follow them, and they found like at the bottom of like the ocean, if you will, like,
and I will.
they find like what looks like a lake, and it's like, how can it be a lake when you're already in water? You're already submerged underwater. So how does it look like a lake? So it's almost like if you went through it, are you in another dimension? Are you in the upside down? Like I've heard that a few times.
Well, I think isn't there.
And then they kind of try to like hide it. They try to like, it's one of those things where it's like, they don't want you to talk about it.
Well, I know that the marine. So I think at certain points, like I'm thinking about that Thai cave. Remember when the Thai kids soccer team got stuck in the cave? The issue wasn't they weren't going to drown, right? Because they were essentially in pockets of a cave that was flooded in. So if you were going in, it was flooded, but their issue was oxygen. And so I think it might be the same thing where it's like the cave is slightly higher than the current sea level, so it creates kind of a lake effect. Maybe. I don't know.
But imagine being underwater,
sure.
right? Like
Yes.
you hit like the bottom of the ocean or the bottom of
Of
the
that respective
lake, right?
body of water.
Yeah. And it almost looks like there's another formation of a body of water underneath it.
Yeah.
Would you go through it? Could you go through it?
Oh, if you're saying if I were somehow had the lungs of a mermaid or the gills of a mermaid.
No, even if you were, because
scuba diving with machinery, modern machinery.
If you were just under in a whatchamacallit, in a submarine.
Like in a pool, common backyard pool.
In a submarine. Like would you like it would be so scary, but I would kind of want to see what came out on the other side.
I mean, that would, of course, like I feel like it would be tempting if you were, in this case, if you were like a submarine, standard submarine, and you were, the depths weren't deep enough, because submarines can't get to the bottom of like where the Titanic is. We all know all too well. Now, but I guess you can like see like almost like a portal type of thing, but I don't know if that's. I don't know. You're gonna have to show me these videos because I don't know. Maybe they're real.
Very interesting.
I'm not sure.
Fascinating.
You know what else is interesting? Apparently, one time for this gentleman was not enough, because a man was charged a second time with attempting a sex act. He wasn't sexting. He was solo. Sex act with a Metrolink seat. What? You know what Metrolink is, right?
Yes.
That's the train. He was fucking the seat, and this is his second time. And this is in Clayton, Missouri, by the way. For the second time in less than a year, so he has it. Like, he's got an itch a lot. A man is charged with attempting to engage in a sexual act with a seat on the Metrolink.
Can I?
Yeah. Do you want to go back to mermaids?
Maybe.
Would you fuck a mermaid?
I don't even know how it's possible.
No.
I'm sure it is, but something has to close and open.
It's got to feel scaly. Yeah, it's got to be real. It's going to be gross. It's going to be like a little.
I can handle the smell alone because I have a fish smell.
Sorry.
Girl or boy? Just so, anyways, what I was going to say is that I know it's going to sound very perverted, but I want a visual, because is he fucking like the part where you put your hands, like the handrail?
Oh, he's like.
Is it the bottom? Is it the top? Like, I have so many questions.
Let's see. St. Louis County prosecutors charged D'Angelo Covington on Tuesday with 2 counts of misdemeanor sexual misconduct. He is currently confined in the county jail without bond, pending a March 3rd reduction hearing. According to St. Louis County Police probable cause statement, a victim told investigating officers that on February 13th she saw Covington at UMSL South Platform. At the time, he allegedly had his genitals exposed and was moving them around until the victim boarded the train. So he's already flopping out. Like, he's at the station already kind of out and exposed. He's got his fins out. Later that day, police learned Covington boarded the train at the Central West End station near whatever, who cares, and attempted a sexual act for about 10 minutes with the upper bar of a train seat. So he's trying to fuck the upper bar, which must be like the headrest. Is that like the headrest? Oh. Both incidents were caught on surveillance video. Please say, well, there's video. I don't know if we have it. The charges filed Tuesday come about 10 weeks after Covington was released from the county jail on a sexual misconduct charge in June that happened on a Metrolink train. So this guy, literally 10 weeks apart, is just going to. You figure like his picture would be plastered on the train station walls or something. Like, where's security? Like,
we can edit this out if you want. But I've been told on 2 accounts now, be careful of the trains in Japan.
Wait, what?
There is a common thing where men will jack off on the trains.
Okay.
Sometimes they'll jack off on women on the trains.
Wait.
There's my Botox girl today told me that there's signs when you walk in.
Watch out for,
like, the no smoking sign. There's a no groping sign, and
there's
it's
no
like a
jacking
picture.
sign.
It's a picture of a guy trying to grab a girl's butt. She literally told me, I said, I gotta take a picture of that when we go.
What the hell?
Yeah. And so
we have to, yeah.
My lash girl, she told me, she said that literally her and her fiance were on the train, and a guy was jacking off on a woman, and the woman wasn't with him. Like she just was it's kind of a culture thing where she just kind of let him do it, and she just like sat there. And I go, if I see somebody doing that and I'm with my daughter, I will go to Japanese prison.
I don't understand. So there's just people.
Yes, it's a thing.
Junk out.
It's funny because everybody's like, oh, it's so safe there. It's so this, but something about jacking off on the subway or on the train can be, they said, they both said, just don't go during the night, during nighttime. And I was like, oh, wonderful. It's a thing.
Japanese man jerking off on train. This happens in Japan.
Mm-hmm. It's very common. 2 different people told me that had recently gone.
What the hell?
And I like, for me, it's like, if we saw that, we'd probably like hee hee giggle.
Oh, if it's just us, it's hilarious.
Daughter, I will fucking lose my shit. Isn't it weird that it's a common thing? Like, nobody's like, I'm almost glad that my clients or my friends have told me this.
Do you have a heads up?
Because I would have went to prison.
No pun intended.
Because I would want to protect, obviously, what my child sees, but the poor woman just taking it.
That is wild, and I just don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, and even my lash girl, her fiance, because she was getting pissed, and he goes, just don't say anything, just look the other way.
So they saw someone.
Yes.
Doing that.
He was doing it.
I guess that's Ubers for us in Japan.
Yes. So
that is crazy. I didn't hear that. Yeah. Maybe I need to get back on TikTok for all this stuff. You get all the good stuff. Are you scared? Like, I haven't asked you yet. What's your temperature level on kicking stuff? Excuse me. What's your temperature level on being scared of flights now? Because you hear planes upside down and doors falling off. It's
fear mongering. That's what I think. I think the little research that I've done so far, just like looking into it, I was like, it's still very safe to fly.
Oh yeah, compared to driving, of course. Yeah, it still is.
It's still the safest thing, as far as transportation goes.
Sure.
I mean, so far, not that many people you find jacking off like on you on an airplane, so that's pretty good news.
Well, apparently a lady, like, not to bury the lead, but there was a lady who was apparently she was on a Southwest flight to Phoenix. She was stripped naked and was running up and down the aisles.
Wonderful.
That happened.
I'm not going to live in fear. You already know that I'm scared of flying. But I feel like, we have to live our lives.
So you're not gonna live your life in fear. That's good.
I'm already scared of flying, but with this, just because of the research that I've done, I truly feel like they're making us look over here. Me and my conspiracy theories. Oh, look at all these flights. What's going on? And then what the fuck's going on over there? Then they eating mermaids over there. They eating mermaids over there, but then the planes are crashing over there. Oh, look at the planes crashing. Don't worry about us eating mermaids.
Like where we kind of got off on a tangent. So apparently there's a person on TikTok who apparently said
a lot of people.
Well, no, it originated apparently, from what I could suss out, like on the brief, what I was watching, basically overlooking what you were. Apparently, someone on TikTok said, "I used to work like events at celebrities thing, and I saw they had mermaids in the cup." That's what spawned all this stuff, and everybody's like feeding off of that. I don't know. It's one dude on TikTok. TikTok's fucking social media is tough for me. Like, I just don't like. I'm like, bring me a mermaid, and then we'll talk about it. I want to meet. Can we? Once we get a mermaid on the podcast, it's getting
harder, and that's what scares me.
If you're a mermaid, come out there,
because so many people just use social media as like their news. Well, no, even just as their news outlets. That people just believe like all of this shit
wholesale.
you
like,
know?
yeah.
Like, I like to talk and debate and whatever, but like, yeah, like all the videos we saw of the mermaids, I think, none of that. None of that is realistic to me. Like, do
Oh
I
yeah, the
think it's a
videos, like, yeah,
possibility? For sure. I lean more towards mermaids being real
sure,
than not,
why not?
but it's not because I'm getting influenced by these wannabe influencers on social media. So,
Because you love Ariel
but
too
people
much.
do this and that and all, and this is worrying about everything and the planes crashing, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna fall into the fear mongering.
Well, it's sensational, right? It's the same thing the fucking drones did for people
Oops.
like a month ago, or whatever it was. This whole plane, it's like it causes clicks, like it's clickbait.
Mhm.
Like everybody,
Yes.
it's like either let's talk about boring subject matters or whatever, or let's watch these planes get fucked up or whatever. And
Mhm.
people are gonna click on the fucking plane shit. It's just, I think it's happening slightly more often than usual, which is alarming. And I hope they find out, they do some shit on it,
Yeah,
but it doesn't, it's really just clickbait. It's like, it's entertainment. It's truly, it's fear entertainment, which people fucking love. People love fear entertainment.
for sure.
Anywho,
Yeah, so I am not going to fear. Are you? Are you having fear? No
about the
fear.
planes, I'm not like, it doesn't make me feel like the most thrilled, but it's not going to stop me from going
Ideally,
on it.
I would like to go red eye in the evening.
Less planes in the air to hit.
No, not
Less
even.
other
It's
planes to hit.
literally so like we could be knocked out.
Mhm.
Like, you know me, I don't smoke weed but I'll have a fucking gummy
Yeah,
and
finally.
put that shit, put me to sleep,
Here we go.
you know.
Party on the plane.
And so if we did if we did crash, I'll be sound asleep.
Can we have an episode where we do edibles and we see, maybe it's flipped.
Let's do a party episode. I think that should be with the party. You want
Maybe,
just me and you?
well, I don't care.
We can do
Whatever.
both.
But I imagine a world where it's flipped. Actually, like mermaid or the scientist, and I'm like, mermaids are real.
I'm the worst high. I'm you'd rather have me drunk on the episode. Like
Let's do it.
when I'm stoned, I'm literally so analytical and I overthink. Like I
get in
I
my head,
overthink
too.
everything anyways. But to the point where it's like I'm just staring at you and I'm analyzing you and I just don't like that feeling. It's so interesting how weed affects people so differently. Early on, and it's probably because that was some homegrown shit. The first couple times I smoked weed were the best times I smoked in my life. It was just homegrown. One of my friend's brothers was
natural.
a drug dealer, so he
Got all the good
he
shit.
would like hook it up. And I remember like, "Eh, we're not feeling it. No, and we literally laughed all night and got the munchies. We're eating cartons of ice cream. We were over at my friend's mom's house, and you remember the 25-cent hamburgers? We had like a bag of them. There was like
Wait,
these,
what?
what are they called? The 25-cent hamburgers in
What was
McDonald's.
this, in the fucking 50s? When was
You
this?
don't remember this?
No.
Shut the fuck
When
up.
did they have 25-cent
Oh my
hamburgers?
God.
Not in this
20,
economy.
29 cent? Were they 29 cent? They were like, I'm telling you, my mom, because being a single parent, she would literally, when they would have those, they only have it for like a couple days. She would buy like at least 10 of them and freeze them.
Oh, my parents definitely froze. So that's probably, I just didn't know they were 29 cents.
That's why.
Yeah.
If you had a lot of hamburgers,
I had plenty
and
of frozen
and
hamburgers.
that's what they were.
Oh, hell
that's
yeah.
why. Yeah,
Yeah.
ask your mom. We had a bunch over at my friend's house, and we were dipping them in the ice cream. We had a carton of ice cream, and we were just laughing over nothing.
Hell yeah.
We camped in my friend's backyard. It was like the best night. It was amazing. And then ever since then, they like lace it. It's like chemicals.
It's like
It's
strong as
man-made.
shit too.
Like, and people are like, oh no, you just haven't got the right kind. And I'm like, okay, like you're a big time stoner. Like I trust you. Like give me the right kind. Puts me to sleep, or I'm over analytical and I get really quiet. So I don't think you want that on the podcast.
No, I don't think we're gonna do that. Is it weird that I want to get more into weed? I'd like to have it be a side hobby.
What do you mean?
I don't
To
know.
smoke or just to
smoke or whatever. Like I feel like I need like a little vice, because I don't know if people, I'm sure people know by now who listen. I'm a diabetes, and so I can't really drink that often.
I think the issue is,
but am I going to be the weed guy? I don't want to be the weed guy.
You would,
but I want to be more into weed.
Everybody already thinks you smoke a lot of weed, so
yeah, it's already out there.
Like, oh, yep, I knew it.
They're like,
I think I don't know if I like you stoned because we've been stoned.
Probably
You're
not.
kind of like the way that I am stoned, and
Oh, I
it's
get like super in my head,
and
I'm
you're
just
really
like,
paranoid and stuff. So I don't know if that would
but I
be a good
want to
hobby for
be a
you.
weed. I
But
don't.
it's not going to give you what the like I said, like I
I guess it's
tried it
cocaine
so
instead.
many I
Fuck.
have tried it so many times to try to get the high and the
Chase
bonding,
that
the
dragon.
kumbaya. I've gone to the mountains and smoked with my friends in a circle and bonded and still had the most fucked up highs that I've ever had in my life. You know what I mean? It's like I don't think that you're gonna really enjoy it that much.
Probably not.
And then, you already get the munchies at like 2 a.m. Can you imagine that on steroids?
Hell
It's
yeah.
gonna be bad.
That sounds fun, actually.
No, because you're
That
like,
part
oh, I
sounds
can't
fun.
drink very much, so let me try this because it's natural. And then
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna go fuck it through the drive-through and
Mm-hmm.
eat the fucking humans that are in fast food now. That's another topic,
This
everybody.
no, we gotta no. We're not breezing over this. This is an open forum for this episode is going to be called Open Forum for Brianna. You also stumbled on a conspiracy theory
Mm-hmm.
that apparently, according to your social medias, they are putting humans in
They didn't
McDonald's
use the word
chicken
humans,
nuggets.
but
Is that
I am a big time love to go to the comments and read out all the comments. So the comments
yeah?
are the fucking best.
You love a
They're
comment.
my
I hate a
vice.
comment. I don't like
I have
comments.
to read the fucking comments.
Or
So
both.
literally, like this guy comes on and he's making this video and he's like, my last video got taken down. He's like, all I can say is that they're putting it in the food. And he keeps repeating it. They're putting it in the food. He's like, they're putting it in the fast food. Don't eat fast food. They're putting it in the fast food. And I'm like, what are they putting in there? And I'm already thinking like what's the biggest conspiracy? COVID vaccine. I'm like, oh, they're putting because remember the COVID vaccine? It was like, oh, they're gonna put it in the water. They're gonna sneak it in your whatever.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, are we still talking about the COVID vaccine?
That's so 2020, 2021.
I thought COVID didn't exist anymore. So I go to the comments and it's like saying all these like random other videos to click on, then you fall down the wormhole. And I was like, oh, eating human flesh. And that's why there's all in the comments, like there's stories of like in the chicken, and I hate to say it because I know it's your favorite thing on the menu. And our daughters, the chicken nuggets are supposed to be the worst. People have found tooths in the chicken nuggets.
They just like grind up. They just grind up. It's pretty rough
They
process.
found like fingernails. They found weird shit.
Nobody find a whole fingernail. Maybe bits of a fingernail, nicely, finely chopped. I don't know. Like I don't know.
You don't know.
What
if you knew? Would you still eat it?
If I knew that okay, ask yourself this question: if I knew that humans were in the chicken nuggets, would I still eat the chicken nuggets? I think that would probably turn me off.
You know what? People are eating mermaids, so anything.
Yeah,
can
definitely,
nowadays.
for sure, 100% people are eating mermaids. That's we guarantee that. We fact check that, right?
Okay, real talk.
Yeah.
If we are in the zombie apocalypse,
yeah,
and there was no like meat to eat, we need protein, and if let's just say we didn't have to kill them,
okay,
would you eat human meat to survive?
I don't think so.
I think I would.
Oh no.
Not because I want to, but
Would you eat a mermaid in the apocalypse? Would you rather eat, if it's apocalypse, if there was one platter and you were starving, with one platter with dead mermaid or one platter with dead human?
I would say the mermaid, but I hate fish, so it would be very unsettling, and I'm sure, I don't know, human flesh would taste like, it would probably taste like chicken, like everything else.
Human is tough, and it's hard to say.
Tough. You've had it before?
Yeah, right.
It's gamey.
It's a little gamey, bro. It's hard to say because we're not in that situation. I'm like, oh, I definitely wouldn't. But I mean,
Jurassic times.
You don't really know until you're in that situation.
It's like saying we wouldn't eat our cats, but I mean, I would eat a cat before I would eat a human.
Yeah.
Preferably not my babies, but
preferably not my own pets.
Yeah. But I mean, you think about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
It's just
they're eating the dogs.
Oh,
they're
God.
eating the cats.
Now we're living in the world that came true. Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one. Do you think? How long do you think I would survive in a zombie apocalypse?
I think we'd be like, I remember in Carl,
Mm-hmm.
um, in what was the name of that show?
The Walking Dead.
Like one of them was sick, and I remember they were right. Wasn't there someone that was diabetic, and they had like a little cooler, and I remember they would go. I think that we would. You don't remember that?
No, I'm just picturing myself in an apocalypse, and everybody's like rough and tumble, and everybody's all tattered and tough, and has like
Well, they're
fucking
tough.
shotgun.
It's like, and they don't tell them like right away. It's
Yeah.
kind of like eventually, but like that's kind of like that would probably be part of our because you can't really stay one place for too long because people try to take it over or whatever. So it's kind of like I feel you're always kind of having to move to look for more food or medication. So I think that I have faith that you would last.
Oh yeah, with me
Yeah.
with my little cooler. Hey guys, like we got to bring the cooler.
I'll carry it for you.
Jeez, yeah, that's the
Hit
thing
a
with me is like
zombie with it.
if a zombie apocalypse like happened, I'd first stop would have to be a pharmacy and bust through the gates and get as much medication as I can and try to sustain on that. But that shit expires.
I think this is maybe inspiring for us to maybe do research on how to get how to get oh no, because I guess now it's synthetic, but like how they get it from horses, and then we might have to do it ourselves.
You gotta jack them off like a Japanese train.
Oh God, disgust.
Pretty sure.
You disgust.
I heard that
me.
once.
Gotta figure out where that pancreas is in that horse and
Oh, the poor horse.
and do what we gotta do.
Horses would be rough to kill and eat. People eat horse meat, but no, thank you.
I mean that could feed a big family, I'm sure.
Yeah, but do you believe that in your heart of hearts?
Stop.
No. We're moving on from that.
Oh,
we all
okay.
know I'd die in a year.
Oh my God, no.
Okay, year and a half. Do you believe
You jump, I jump.
Well, we have a kid to take care of. Don't do that. It's reckless.
Let's just,
Let's not think about that anymore. This is dark.
This is your fucking fault.
This is dark.
This is your fault.
This podcast,
by the way.
This podcast is dark.
You brought it up.
I know. That's the theme of this podcast is you brought it up. But do you think that they're really putting like let's take it outside like
you know what sparked my imagination was during COVID.
Willy Wonka?
There was all of these like crazy trucks that like had to pick up all the people that died, right? And they were like freezers because there was just thousands and millions of people dying left and right. It was kind of like, fuck, we don't even have room to put these in the mortuaries. Like everything's flooded, right? Which is so many people. So they're in these like trucks and stuff. And then what if they supposedly, the people that wanted to be cremated, they didn't really cremate them and were really at this loss of like meat because there's just we're overpopulated. Look at the chickens. The chickens are fucking dying. The chicken flu. We can't even get eggs. A good thing I'm allergic. But yeah, but I'm saying like so maybe they're starting to infuse it in because they figure like
we're out of birds. So all this bird flu is put into some humans. Yeah, but
couldn't have been a better time for me to decide to go vegan.
Yeah, how long does meat last for? It can't last for more than it's been like 4 years since COVID.
Deep freeze.
Wild. What was I gonna say? I was did you I heard this that apparently apparently the borders on Canada and Mexico are seizing more eggs and fentanyl at this point of contraband eggs because eggs are pricey.
What do you mean seizing?
Like, because you can't, it's illegal to like when you go like even across state.
Oh, so like, people are trying to bring back eggs.
They're trying to bring in eggs because they're so expensive. Either like illegal, people are illegally trying to bring in eggs.
That's crazy.
And they're seizing more eggs at this point than fentanyl.
I'd be like, if you take my eggs, you better give me my money back. I wonder how much it is in they are in Mexico or Canada.
Probably cheap. I would imagine if they're importing it in, like they got to be cheaper.
That's crazy.
This whole thick and fast fascination words are hard.
It's funny, just I think maybe for us,
I
because
don't
I
eat
was
that
like,
much eggs.
I was talking to one of my clients about it because even when I wasn't allergic, it wasn't a staple in our house. But I mean, I know we're not like, the typical leave it to beaver, anyways. Because
Yeah.
when I was telling people, I was like, I don't understand this. Like, how many eggs are you eating? And one of my clients, it's just her and her husband, and she was saying that like, well, they bake
That's the
and
thing.
they cook like 3 meals a day. Like they go out maybe on the weekends to eat, but like they use a lot of eggs for baking. And I just was like, oh, well, I don't cook and I don't bake, so maybe that's why it doesn't matter in our household.
I gotta get
And
more
if
into
we
eggs
do
and more into
eggs,
weed
yeah, and if we do
both at the
eggs,
same
it's
time.
like, on a special like breakfast, breakfast that we'll make for our daughter, like if she wants like bacon and eggs, but she'll never just I mean, when she was little, she would just have eggs. I would cook her eggs a lot more just to get her that fast, quick source of protein. But as she's gotten older, yeah, she doesn't even eat breakfast. She hates breakfast.
Eggs are trash food, basically. It's just like they don't taste. It's
I
just
just
fucking
have a
garbage.
feeling that there's a lot of people that are lactose intolerant,
Yeah.
and more people are becoming allergic to eggs. I just have have this weird conspiracy that they're.
You have a weird conspiracy? Please tell us.
I hate you.
How many episodes in?
I know we've covered some great ones
Some
tonight.
crazy ass shit.
But I just feel like no, I lost my train of thought. Fuck
I don't know.
but
Thank you.
that if they're doing something to the eggs, or sorry, to the chickens, maybe to the eggs, and they're tweaking them somehow, because I ate eggs growing up all the fucking time. How do you? And then I'm like, oh, you can develop egg allergies, but I'm like, maybe they're just not meant for humans to eat. Like maybe
After a
it's
certain point,
just
like we're not meant to, as
yes.
humans, meant to
Maybe
consume dairy as much.
because when my egg allergy
Older.
came, I was eating eggs like 3 times a day because I was like super fit and super into like fitness.
Yeah.
And so it was quick to get the protein and build my muscle that I was trying to build. And I just don't think, I think it's one of those things, just like meat in general, you're really only supposed to have it once a week. We overeat meat.
We eat a lot of fucking meat as
Yeah, and
Americans.
we're our bodies aren't even meant for that.
Especially red meat. We eat a fucking shit ton of red meat
So
in America.
that's what I think. I think if we all like ate eggs, like how you like a lot of like my Korean friends that I know, they're like, you Americans like eat way too much meat. Like, that's why we have Korean barbecue. They're like, we go once a week, and
We
that's
fuck shit
and
up.
we have we have meat like once a week, and when we do, like we do it, but
Yeah.
but throughout the week it's fish and lots of veggies and rice, and that's noodles, and that's what they do. And I'm just like, I don't think our body can handle it. And even talking to my grandma growing up, she's like, I was raised off the land. Like, we were lucky. You were considered rich to have like, cows and like chicken to actually kill and, make a meal out of it, because a lot of people couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
So interesting.
I don't know. Hey, I got a question for you. I forgot to ask you.
Oh no.
Your birthday's over. It's done.
Barely.
We're
still celebrating.
We're a month and a half in, 2 months in. But did you find out during your birthday time whether ghosts are real in Los Angeles?
We went on a ghost tour, and without bashing,
without details, the company's name is.
I had a really great time.
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff, because we love our ghost stories, we knew. I think you knew way more than me, but but there was a lot of ones that's like, oh, and the tour guide would say stuff, and it was kind of like, oh, and all I wanted to be like chime in and be like, oh, and also this and this and this, and I was just like, keep your mouth shut, like just let her do her thing.
Yeah.
But the one that I think I really enjoyed the most, and I wish that like we could have gone on a night tour there, like if they had like a ghost tour that went up there, I would love to go to the Hollywood sign.
Oh yeah.
Where the actress from, was it the 1930s? Committed suicide. Her name, because I didn't know that story. So to me, that's really creepy and fascinating.
It was Peg Entwistle, right? Peg Entwistle. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Peg, the craziest story. She was 1930s. Yeah.
I think she committed suicide in 1932. Yeah.
So the interesting story about her was she, prior to this, had filmed this movie and was super excited, and she played a lesbian in the 1930s in this role, and
Which
you
is
know,
wild for the
which is
1930s. It's
revolutionary,
wild.
right? And she was the main actress in it, and when they were kind of like playing it back, they're kind of like, we don't know if like people are actually gonna like this. And so they played it to like it was just like a friends and family, right, audience. And people were like, no, like don't show like everybody this or whatever. So they completely cut her out of the entire movie. And she just thought like that's it. This was gonna be my big break. I'm never gonna get a role like this ever again. And she went to end her life and she climbed up the Hollywood sign. And she jumped off. And the most horrible part was that when she jumped off, it didn't kill her. So she was alive for like days, but couldn't. She broke her, who knows what bones she broke. So she couldn't move. And she was kind of stuck in like shrubbery. So, I mean, even if she was like yelling, like, you couldn't really see her, you hear her. But yeah, when knowing that is just so like, oh, so people say that they see her jumping off. That it's the O, right? She's jumping off the
Yeah.
O. Um, she kind of haunts. She'll tell you like to if you go really early or if you're there at night, like she'll like want you to follow
It was the H,
her.
by the way. Sorry, that wasn't the O.
It
It was
was
the
the
H.
H.
Yeah,
Why did I
yeah.
think it was the O?
I don't know.
But yeah, but very, very sad. The Lana Del Rey song that she did with The Weeknd um, is actually, I guess, based on
From
that.
Crack Research Team.
Yeah.
Peg and Whistle song. It was Lust for Life.
Yes.
Yeah, that was wild. That was a good story, and but they didn't take like the issue. Like just as a, I don't know. We obviously people were into this. If you're listening to podcasts, you're more than likely into spooky, and you're maybe can at least visit LA area or you're from LA area. The bus tour aspect was what drove me fucking nuts because they're like, this is a spot where like this
And you didn't get off the
crazy
fucking bus.
shit happened, and I was like, I started shouting, "Get us off the bus!"
Yeah. Yeah. Like, you get a whole itinerary. And so you start getting really fucking excited before you go on this tour, right?
Yeah.
And in the itinerary, it's like, wear comfortable shoes, wear a jacket,
You're
bring
definitely
a
getting
raincoat.
off the bus.
It might sprinkle a little. And we got off the bus literally fucking one time.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't even for that great of, I mean, it was kind of a cool story, but I was more intrigued with like the stories of Marilyn Monroe. And I actually would have really liked to go to, was it the Knickerbocker where they said, where they got the whole idea for Tower of Terror?
That was well, there's a building called Hollywood Tower that was the inspiration.
Oh, okay.
That was an old
Yes, that's
mob
right.
hit
That's right.
spot essentially.
And yeah, they said they see people in the windows
Yeah,
and
that's
the
cool.
elevators. So it's like, let us go snoop around. Like why? Like I would love to just like walk in. Like, okay, the one stop that I understand why they wouldn't let us get out was the Cecil because it's like flooded
Skid Row.
with
It's basically Skid
Row and homeless people. And we've actually on our own have gone down there and wandered around, and I've been chased by homeless people. So, and there's a lot of feces on the floor. So that in that case, and there's the people
the functional hostel for transients essentially at this moment.
Yeah. So the people around there, you kind of really don't want to get off the bus.
Yeah.
But was it you or was it our friends that said the scariest part was the traffic? Because we're in LA, we're in Hollywood. I think it was
probably me.
And we had to get on the freeway to go to a couple of these different spots, and yeah, one of us said that because of course there was fucking traffic.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought, God, this is gonna be a 3-hour tour. It's gonna be fucking amazing. We're gonna get off, and then our last stop was the Roosevelt, and we're hearing all this cool stuff about Marilyn Monroe and the mirror she would go in and da. And so at that point, we're like, okay,
get us off.
This is our last stop.
We're leaving.
Oh, and I didn't want to be rude, but I was just kind of like, could we just get off here? Because the bars were open inside. So we went into this really cool speakeasy there. We wandered around a little bit. It was like the night before the Oscars. So it was like packed.
It was packed. And there was a lot of stuff that was blocked off for private events. So.
But the little speakeasy in there was fun.
Nope.
My what did I get? My lemon drop martini was the best fucking thing there.
Yeah.
Everybody, all my friends that tasted it were like, "Oh my god, we should have just got those all the time." But it was really cool. Like we saw it. Like I think that made the evening just kind of being able to lounge and hang out and just chat with my friends and and drink and get tipsy together. That was probably the highlight. But
Yeah.
even there, like never saw Marilyn Monroe. Never, because they say that she's spotted a lot. I guess the mirror. I did take a video in the mirror that was quote unquote Marilyn Monroe's mirror. They actually took her mirror out because too many people were like, I guess, vandalizing it and doing shit,
Assholes.
which like bums me out because I was like,
Yeah,
can
it's a
you?
bummer.
If it was her mirror, there was probably chances that you would definitely see her.
Like the
People said that
Haunted
you could
Mansion
see her.
ride where you
You could
ride
see her
along
in
with
the
her.
mirror, and I was
That's
like,
crazy.
that's so fucking cool.
That is cool.
So I don't know. It was fun,
It was
but
fun.
highly don't recommend.
Especially if you're like I just said, if you're into spooky stuff. If you're into
You
spooky
probably
stuff,
already
you
know.
already know all. You know
Mhm.
Cecil. You know fucking all the Roosevelt haunts. You know the Knickerbocker stuff, and
Yeah.
that all that stuff is like already there for you.
Yeah. The Peg story was pretty cool.
The Peg
Never
story, I
never knew it
never
was
heard the
haunted.
Peg story.
Yeah.
I'm
That
like
was
out of
one
all
that yeah.
the spooks I've heard in my life and the true crime stuff and all that good stuff, I've never heard the Peg story, which made me want to go walk up to Hollywood
Oh,
sign.
the one other thing I wanted to touch about, which even made you even more sad for this poor woman. I guess the next day, so she goes to the night that she finds out that they're taking her out of the film. She goes that night to commit, to end her life.
Yeah.
And the next day she got a phone call, like supposedly that this like
Someone
she
attempted to
found out
give her a
this,
call. Yeah.
yeah, and she was going to be in a leading role in a movie. So if she would have just hung on for one more day, like think about how different things could have been. Very sad.
It's super sad.
That hit me the hardest, just knowing that she just gave up everything and just thought she wasn't going to make it, and then just yeah.
The like somehow I latch onto those kind of tragic ghost stories so
Mhm.
much. I mean, maybe it's the depressed man in me,
Yeah.
but like that one, I'm with you. That one stuck. That one
Yeah.
really stuck.
I think it's a fact, like her being like, and it makes you wonder if she actually was gay in real life, like
Might have been a lot
where
of
she
times
felt,
like
yeah, where
closeted
she
because they
felt
couldn't.
comfortable being this leading role. And I just was like, gosh, like knowing that there was a show with like a lesbian character in the 30s, like would have made me so happy,
That
to
would have been cool.
know.
She would have been an idol
Yeah.
essentially if that
So
would have
it's like,
seen the light of day.
so the fact that she lost, the role because of that, she attempted to kill herself, but then didn't kill herself. And she just was literally in suffering. Like, think about it. Like, animals could have been eating her. Like, it's just so many things that could have happened while she was just laying there and couldn't do anything to protect herself. And that, I think the way that she died was that's, because it's like you jump off, you're dead, right? Like in her
Yeah.
case, that's not what ended up happening. So, and then the phone call the next day, oh, it's just so fucking tragic. So tragic.
Do you think, I don't want to dox us here, but so that we very famously, like local famously, there was a story. We live by a stadium. I'm trying to give as little details as possible.
Oh, yes.
And someone tried and was unfortunately successful to commit suicide, but they didn't die right away. I wonder if, as a super local haunt, if
Can we
that
say
is
what
haunted.
they did?
Yeah, I just don't want to. Yeah, I just want to give out exactly
They hung
the
themselves.
geolocation.
Yeah, they hung themselves, and apparently they were hanging there for a day or so, and a janitor or somebody found them, and the person was still alive. But by the time they got them down and to the hospital and everything, they had lost so much oxygen that yeah, they couldn't make it.
They were still alive at the time, but
Yeah,
there was a
they
lost
couldn't make
cause,
it.
unfortunately. Yeah, I wonder if that's haunted. Not to be insensitive to
I think
the
about
local
that too.
deaths, but I
Yeah.
wonder.
It would be interesting to talk to like people that go there,
I wonder, and I'm gonna pause at something. We're going on the speculation and the belief. We're just gonna go. Like, I'm kind of on the fence about ghosts being real or not, but I love a good ghost story. But let's just say that ghosts are 100% real.
Mhm.
Does the act of suicide and murder, right? Do those two acts lend themselves more to hauntings? Because one, for suicide, it's like you hear a lot, once people try, they regret it instantly. I wonder if there's a lot of regret, so that's a lot of lingering spirits because of that suicide. But I wonder if like suicide's like, because there's that instant regret, does it lend itself more to spirit? Like, because that unanswered, that kind of lingering regret of suicide, and murder too, because you are taken short, right? Not by the hand of God, but by
And
the hand
maybe
of
not
someone else.
understanding, because a lot of times there are times when people are murdered, but that they know who did or whatever. But like, if you get literally stabbed in the back, there's like this, how can
You
I
don't
be
know.
dead? Like, what happened?
Or do those unanswered questions, those instances, does that lend itself to more intrigue with the ghosts of those who have been cut short by the hands of man or the hands of themselves? Like, does that lend itself more to ghost stories, or is it prone? We gotta have we've done how many episodes and we've never had a ghost expert?
True.
Who's a ghost? Do we know a ghost? If you're listening and you're a ghost
I know
expert,
people who do seances, but I wouldn't want to do a seance in my house.
No, I don't want to do a seance because
I want to do a seance, but not here.
I wouldn't mind doing seance, but I don't know. I think that it would freak you out too much, and yeah, it would be sleepless nights. I don't know if I'd probably be more willing than you are to do a seance inside the house, but
oh hell no, that's like summoning. I can't say the word summoning.
Summoning.
You're not even saying it right.
Yeah, it's summoning.
No.
Yes. What is it?
Your summons.
Yeah, you're being summoned, or it's a summons, but it's a summoning. God damn it!
I don't know.
Who cares?
You just talk funny.
Thank you. You sure do talk funny.
Yeah, no, I think that's inviting trouble into your house.
Let's get a ghost expert on the podcast. We got to find one. We'll reach out to one. Do you want to have a psychic? We should have a psychic on the episode. Who would you want as an expert or a guest on the show? And we'll try to grab him.
Giorgio Tsoukalos.
Okay, I'll call him.
First and foremost, aliens. But I want to know the aliens.
Okay, so you want to interview an alien?
I'm so fat. Like, aliens are just they're out of this world.
They're very out of this world.
Like, I just feel so connected, and so I truly feel like they're our ancestors, and I'm just so fascinated with planets and what's going on the stars, and so just the UFOs, spacecrafts,
Mhm.
just our ancestors, like in Egypt and in Greek mythology, just all like I just who were they? Who came down?
Who are you?
So it's fascinating to me.
Would you be okay, like, if we had someone on the show who claimed to be an alien?
Oh yeah, I yeah.
Would you believe them?
There's
Would you give them the benefit of the doubt?
Social media, and I get angry. I get really angry.
You're no alien. I know
because
aliens.
It's like because okay, well, if you want to go there, we're all aliens and we're all star children. Because the whole theory is
sounds
that,
like you've been taking up weed recently.
The theory is that we chose to come here and live the human experience, if you will, and we don't remember our past because it's all part of the experience. And so that's why I get mad with these people that are like, oh, I came here to help you. Well, what superpowers are you using to help me?
How are you helping me?
You're aligning my chakras. Like, okay, cool. No, I want to see some lasers coming out of your eyes. I want to see some fucking sci-fi shit.
Like, why don't you bring down the price of eggs for everybody? Because everybody seems to be obsessed with that somehow. Yep. There you go. Come on, aliens.
I would believe you. And you know me, like I want to believe, and I'm not a skeptic, but I'm a skeptic of these fucking people on the internet, like, because they just.
Oh, everybody on the internet. I am probably overly so for my sake. I'm very skeptical.
It makes me very angry. It makes me very angry because there's like.
Confronted a guy who's
the people that like we've been following this when YouTube like first started, like those And like all of that stuff was just so like that's fucking real. Like no one made this up. Like it's clearly like
before it became cool
clear
and
as
trendy and
day.
viral.
Yes. And so like that's the stuff that I want to see. And you can't trust anything anymore unless like seeing it for yourself. Like when the one time when I saw that, well, two times, because you had actually seen what do you honestly think when we were at Disneyland at 4 a.m. on 24-hour Disney day? What do you think that clear cloud or like the
Fucking government testing, baby. They're testing out their shit on us. I
what
don't think
thing?
it's aliens because I don't think aliens would be that obvious. I don't think
Yeah.
like if aliens, I don't think it'd be like let's float over Disneyland. They're not that dumb. I would hope.
Do you
I
think
don't
they're
know.
time traveling though? You think they're like maybe coming from a different time or no? You think it's just like
There
modern
is the
day
scientific
crafts?
possibility of parallel universes and skipping on that end and stuff like that. But it's hard to prove. Like I don't know. I like my global broad stance is that aliens for sure fucking exist.
Mm-hmm.
How much or whether they've come to the planet, our planet Earth, is up for debate, and I let everybody else debate.
Well,
I don't
shit.
know.
If they're eating mermaids, humans probably eat aliens too. I wouldn't come here.
Alien or mermaid, which would you rather eat?
Probably mermaid.
Aliens would be fucked up. I feel like you get some weird disease from that.
Yeah.
Grow an extra toe or something. All right. Well, this has been an episode of Strange Times. Thanks so much for listening and watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Follow us on all the social medias at Strange Times. And you can email us at strange.times.show@gmail.com if you have any comments, concerns, if you took the tour too and you want to raise a comment or concern. And thanks so much for watching, listening, all that good stuff. Goodbye.
Bye.